Hello, hello. This is Yuri with Let's Talk Moving, and with me today I have Brian Geiger, owner of Junkluggers of West Los Angeles. How you doing today, Brian?
I'm doing great, Yuri. Thanks for having me today.
Great, great. Thank you for joining us. So, Brian, so how did you get into junk removal?
Sure, great question. So my background, I've been a supply chain consultant for the last 15 years, working mainly in manufacturing, helping customers improve their logistics, their inventory management, and overall sourcing and procurement of goods and logistics. At the onset of the pandemic, there looked like there was some opportunities. The landscape was changing. People were moving out of their office buildings. Homeowners were trying to find room for their home offices, whether it was in the garage or their extra bedrooms. So I saw an opportunity to get into the junk removal business. And when I was looking at different options about whether going out on my own or getting into a franchise, I really found a good fit with the Junkluggers. They've been around for about 20 years now, and what really differentiates them is their commitment to landfill diversion, mainly through donating and recycling as much as we can. Living here in Los Angeles, I know that sustainability and focus on the environment is, paramount for a lot of the customers that we work with, especially on the commercial side.
And now for a word from our sponsors. If you're a moving business owner, you may have already heard of Moversville, an email marketing service that helps moving companies increase, repeat, and referral business. But have you heard of Moversville Connect? Moversville Connect is an incredible resource for all things moving. They feature an array of vendors and services that cater specifically to the moving industry. You can find companies that provide moving software, moving sales services, marketing services, moving equipment providers, and much, much more. Visit moversville.com today to learn more. Okay, so Junk Loggers, so it is a franchise,
Yes, yeah,
correct?
national franchise. There's about 75 different franchisees across the country right now. Um, I'd say that uh, network volume, actually, I'd be guessing if I said that, but it's a growing organization, and we just got ranked by U.S. News as the number one junk removal company on the planet. That just
Oh,
came
wow.
out a week ago.
That's awesome. Not every no, very few companies can claim that kind of label for sure.
Yes, yeah, I'm surprised when they went with the planet instead of the country or the region, but I like it. We'll take it.
That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I don't know if how many junk removal companies they are international. To be
It's
honest, I
it's
really don't know. I mean, obviously, I know that there's a few in US, but I haven't heard of too many international. So maybe that's part of the fact that that simply some countries simply have no such thing potentially.
yeah,
So that would
well,
affect the global label. But
yeah.
that's still pretty cool. That's still pretty cool. So what so okay, so I got the drift on the Junglogger's mission. So mission is basically to avoid landfill if at all possible, basically,
That's right.
by donating or reselling or whatever the case may be, right? Does your company need more creative marketing and ad campaigns to improve traffic and organic leads? Well, Moving Sales Professionals has a solution for you. We have partnered with social media marketing agency that has over 300 million views on their ads and videos across social media, and they have generated over $35 million for their clients over the last 10 years alone. Their services include content creation, social media ads, pay-per-click campaigns, website and funnel development, Google Ads, email marketing campaigns, lead generation, and much, much more. For limited time only, they have discounted rates for their services. Sign up for a free consultation call with us via our Calendly link on our website or below this video.
That's right. Yeah, and we work with lots of different donations and charities around Los Angeles area and around the country to try and find new homes for other people's junk.
So do you also work with companies that like rebuild or help fix furniture pieces, perhaps that maybe the person that's given it to you does not, they don't want to bother, but is that
Yeah,
something that you guys work with as well?
absolutely. Yeah, a couple of the thrift shops that we work with actually have their own kind of restoration shops in the back of the thrift stores
Mhm.
where they're able to, sand down some of the old furniture, put a new finish on it, maybe change out some of the hardware like the poles and the levers. and then they could turn it into a pretty nice looking piece of furniture afterwards.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And here in Los Angeles, it's a very transient city. People come, they live here for a couple years, and then they move somewhere else a lot of times. So with all the comings and goings, a lot of people end up, with a lot of potential to have junk or a little bit of extra furniture on their hands.
Sure, sure. Now, how can a company get into junk removal? Do you need like a special licensing or anything like that? What would be what would be the steps?
Sure. Luckily, there's no real special licensing requirements. And another added bonus is that the trucks that we use do not require any special driver's license either. They're small enough where they fit in with the normal driver's license. I'd say the biggest barrier to entry is definitely the cost of the truck. We operate dump trucks. I have fixed body trucks myself, but some other companies or other franchisees within the Junkluggers use roll-offs. Those trucks are typically, running six figures. They have some maintenance requirements as well. And then I'd say the next barrier after that would just be the insurance industry is quite difficult, especially here in California.
Sure.
So having the right
Pricey.
coverage for auto coverage for these dump trucks is a challenge if your US DOT number is less than 3 years old.
Mm,
Once you kind of hit that threshold of 3+ years in business, things start to loosen up a little bit. There's more competitive quotes for coverage. But in the very beginning, there's some pretty hefty policies that you have to be able to absorb.
understandable. So yeah, there's a lot of that going on. Now, um, do you have moving companies in the area that pair up with you? Are you looking for companies to pair up with you? What's the process and what in general would entail all that?
Yeah, so we love working with moving companies. We have a couple right now that we work with closely. Redondo Beach Van and Storage is one out here locally that we do a lot of referrals between each other. And what we find is that a lot of times when someone is getting ready to move, they're usually trying to downsize. It's a good opportunity to declutter some of the items that they don't want to take with them to the new location. And then similarly, a lot of times after someone is moving into a new place, as they're unpacking, they're realizing, maybe their old furniture doesn't fit the way they expected it to within the decor of their new home. And that's
Sure.
another opportunity to try and, get rid of some stuff, get rid of the old, make room for the new. So I feel like moving companies are a natural referral network for the junk removal industry. And rather than having to put that burden on the moving company where, sure, they could go out of their way, take some items to the dump, but it's taking them off their route. It's putting their trucks in a hazardous environment. The dumps, pretty rough places to bring vehicles. There's a lot that could go wrong in terms of things popping your tires or getting caught up in the chassis. Um, so, we kind of take that off of them by using our more rugged dump trucks to satisfy that part of the job.
Sure, sure. Now, in terms of, I mean, obviously you got the moving industry and we're dealing with the caveats that we're dealing with the current market and everything else that's going on. Now, for as far as junk removal goes, how is that affecting you? Is it affecting you?
It has, we definitely saw a little bit of a tightening of the market with the increase in mortgage rates in the housing market. When rates were low and people were buying and selling like crazy, we were super busy trying to keep up with the demand. As those rates kind of went higher, the real estate market cooled down a little bit, and there's been less overall transactions. So we're definitely tied to that. But what we've done to try and offset that and to continue to grow is we've put more of a focus on our commercial customers because a lot of the office buildings that we're working with, they still haven't seen the full return to in person or in office working. There's still a pretty big
Sure.
push for hybrid or remote work. So we're still seeing a lot of empty office places, or empty office space that owners or tenants are looking to downsize and move into smaller offices with smaller footprint and a less monthly cost.
Right. Now, the obviously moving is impacted by the season. how much would you say the change of seasons have? I mean, you're in California, so it doesn't impact you as much as it does Colorado, for example. But how
Right.
much has it impacted your industry versus moving industry, for example, the seasonal changes?
We definitely, starting in California, I really was naive. I thought, hey, we're not going to experience the seasonality because we have such a moderate climate. But there's definitely a noticeable uptick as you head into the spring and summer months. Kind of
Hmm.
that whole mindset of spring cleaning,
Hmm. Sure.
the peak of real estate sales happening in the summertime for the most part. That's definitely our biggest season. And then as we head into fall and winter, things start to slow down a little.
Okay. So now, not a sizable change, not sizable change. What do you think? I mean, is it that would be similar to what moving industry experiences, or
So I'd say that it's pretty sizable. I'd say that we do the majority of our annual revenue within that spring and summer period,
okay, so
and then
same as moving?
and then we feel a pretty big lull in fall and winter.
Okay, okay. Well, let me ask you this. So, in terms of advertising, what are you doing? What do you feel is working the best for you?
I do a little bit of everything. Junk removal, like moving. Customers aren't calling us weekly or monthly. We get our average customer uses us once every 11 months, is what the data
Mhm.
says. So we're constantly looking for new customers to keep us busy.
Okay,
I do digital marketing with Google pay-per-click advertising using an ad agency. I do lead gen services like Home Advisor, Connex Pros,
right.
Google local service ads. And then we also focus a lot of our efforts on guerrilla marketing as well, where we're out hosting events in the community, doing free e-waste disposal events where we invite the community to bring anything with the cord they don't use anymore. And then we partner with an e-waste recycler so that we can bring the product straight to them afterwards. Um, and really just anything we could do to live the mission of adding value in the communities that we serve.
Okay. And what about social media? What do you feel? Like, are you focusing on that? Are you not so much? What's your
I
thought?
we I do social media posts. We have one of the benefits of being part of a franchise is we get to tap into their marketing department,
Right.
and they really take over all the social media aspect in terms of creating the content,
Hmm.
uh, the messaging, the graphics, all that kind of stuff. And then I try and fill in the gaps by adding before and after pictures from our jobs as much as we can,
Sure.
especially
Yeah.
in junk removal. If you go from this storage unit that's filled head to toe with stuff, and then you clean it all out, and it looks nice and pristine afterwards. It shows quite well.
Right. No, no, I could see that. So yeah, no, that's awesome. It's it's a little bit different. Mostly we have a lot of people that are affiliated with the moving industry, obviously, on this podcast. So it's nice to see another dimension to it with junk removals. You're our first junkie, so to speak, on the podcast. So it's no, it's cool to have you. And Brian, thank you very, very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure. I'm sure we'll talk again soon.
That
But
sounds great, Yuri. I appreciate the opportunity to join you today. And to any moving companies that see this, I think we'd love to reach out and find opportunities to send customers to each other and build a referral network that keeps the business coming.
sure, and we certainly have clients in California that I think would be interested in that. So, and I will personally reach out to them and see if they want to talk to you, if they would be interested in something like that. But I mean, anything that brings business is positive, especially with what's going on today. So, once again, thank you very much for joining us. As I always say, the world moves on its own, so let the professionals move yours for you. So, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, Brian, and we'll see you all soon.